Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, September the 30th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am fired up to be here with you all today. Big shout out to Mr. Josh Crash Davis, who is traveling. He's up in the Pittsburgh area, and just hope he has a wonderful and safe travel, and he'll be back with me on Monday. So today you've got me solo, and it is a good time because I am somewhat hot, as they say in the DFS world. We are definitely catching some momentum and finishing up baseball very strong, which we have done in the past. So this is becoming a yearly tradition to finish off MLB strong. I think it's because we follow it so closely, and there's so many anomalies at the end of the baseball season that you can't just plug into an optimizer and spit out some numbers. There's, where are the teams as far as who's in, who's out of the playoffs, who still has something to play for. You have weather changes that come into play. You've got call-ups that teams that have given up or letting them see some new guys that are coming up. So there's, the bottom line is there are a lot of different things that affect the baseball slates down to the last 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks. Then you have the plus of all of the DFS NFL folks that flood, all of DraftKings, Fanduel, even Yahoo, all of them. And you get some of those players jumping over to baseball and some of the other spots that they're not super adept at. So there's a lot of criteria on why, but the bottom line is it's working out fantastic. Real proud that we took down the 222 tournament on FanDuel, and we did it in pretty strong fashion by about 15, 20 points. So it wasn't even close. And that makes you feel good, no doubt about it. And that was the single entry FanDuel lineup that we gave out to members. So good stuff. Awesome to see, most of all, everybody, with all the winners. We had a bunch of people posting in Discord, a bunch of people posting on Twitter, and we really do appreciate that. So that is awesome. And just a great run to be on this week. And we're going to keep it going. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a great weekend for us. We've got an awesome main slate tonight. It's 12 games on all 3 sites, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo, all with the same 7:05 lock time, all with that being their main slate. So that makes things a lot easier. The second piece is I've already decided to eliminate one of the games. The second game of the doubleheader of Philadelphia, Washington, I see that as 100% rain out. Unfortunately, the remnants of Ian coming up the coast looks like it's going to be all over Washington, D.C. Come early evening, even late afternoon. We put the radar up in Discord, and it's just absolute blanket of rain everywhere in that area. So we're basically functioning here from the Coach Talk side of things, and it's not been postponed yet. So right now it's still a 12-game main slate. But from the Coach Talk side of things, we're looking at this as an 11-game slate. We're not going to play that one. So that's good. So we know where we stand. And then on top of that, unbelievable pitching tonight. I mean, it's crazy. There are like 7 pitchers that on any given slate would be just dead chalk. And everybody's chopping into each other's ownership. And there's some of these great pitchers going super low owned, single digits ownership all over the place. So it is crazy. My voice is in and out, so I apologize for that. Don't know what it is. Got it up in the chest a little bit, in the throat for sure. I took a COVID test, though, and it's negative. So it's not COVID. That's a good thing. Whatever this upper respiratory thing is, I am not going to let it get the best of me, and it's not going to affect our hot streak. If I have to do sign language to you guys, we're going to get this done. There's no quit in the Coach Talk team, that's for sure. Unless I'm way behind on a slate and I'm acting like a big baby and I wave the white flag. But that's a whole nother story that some of our members, we can get a good laugh at that from sure. All right, I want to say hello to some of the first people in the chat this afternoon. We always have people that float in here as we get closer to the 4 o'clock hour. But Nathan Feudy is keeping his streak alive of being the first one in chat. So shout out to you, Nathan. That's awesome. Niles Simmons, how are you, my friend? Lee Thompson, great to see you in here. I know you're fairly new to the family here, so awesome to have you. Hopefully you're with us every day. We would love for you to be a major league regular. Let's see who else drifted in. King of all trades, my buddy Rodney Pollard. Crazy story with Rodney yesterday. Somehow 2 accounts got built. It was just a big mess, but we got Rodney all set now. He's good to go through the end of October. So we're going to put a bunch of winners together for you, Rodney, and never say die that you just missed the one hot night. We're going to have a bunch of hot nights, my friend, a bunch of them. Our buddy Payne, Feel the Pain, Payne Blank SM, also known as Dead Presidents. What is up, my friend? Of course, Handsome Dave himself, David Dulac, JT. Who else is in here? Mr. Aaron Sampson. Great to see you with us today. Boy from Cali. What is the word? We were 1-2 in some of these tournaments, but Boy from Cali and I are starting to dominate some stuff. I love it. Doug L. What's the word, my friend? Who says bad baseball night, Doug? Are you kidding? I can't understand that one. It is a fantastic baseball night. There's like 7 ace pitchers. We 12 game main slate or 11. It's a great baseball night. I am double digit games are my sweet spot. We are going to kill this, Mr. Doug L. I promise you that. Earl Tyson, how are you? You're a Fanduel guy? Excellent. Well, we beat the living daylights out of Fanduel last night, and we have been on a serious roll there. We want to keep that going. Bev, how are you this afternoon? Great to have you here with us. All right, nice group in here. And I think we're going to add some people as we're going this afternoon. So we're going to go through all the games as we always do. We'll give you some of the pay ups and values and everything is normal. We'll also put in some prize picks and boom picks towards the end of the podcast. And I'm going to give away 2 sets of tickets for the Millie Maker on Sunday on DraftKings. So a lot on the plate today. We've got plenty of time to do it. And like I say, I want to really hone in here because there's going to be a ton of variance in lineups tonight. You're not going to see dead chalk because there's no Coors game. There's no Wrigley win game. There's nothing on the totals of any game that's going to make that game wildly overowned. So that's great. And then on top of that, because we have like 7 ace pitchers, that is getting spread around a lot. So you're going to be able to get pretty contrarian without even trying that hard. So I love this kind of slate. This is my kind of slate that I look forward to playing and giving information out to our members. All right. One thing I want to mention, I'm so excited. You may see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. As of the last night, we put up our NBA membership for the season. Cannot wait to get the NBA going. The season starts October 16th, and the preseason gets started this weekend, believe it or not. Unbelievable that NBA is here. Cannot be more fired up. As you can tell behind me, for any new members or new people in there, NBA definitely my number one sport. You know, pretty highly ranked in the DFS space. have carved out a pretty popular niche in baseball and golf as well. And then, of course, we've got our football pros here, Crash and Steven, and also Deb jumping in. So we got you covered here, wire to wire and Coach Talk. The other great thing about any of our memberships that you get, you don't just get that sport. You get everything that we have to offer. Once you're in the family, once you're part of what we're doing, you get all the stuff that we put out there. And that's, those core lineups on DraftKings, both single entry and GPP, and then full lineups on Fanduel and Yahoo for the same. The NBA package, I put a little twist on it because I'm a Mavericks fan and a Luka fan, and of course a Dirk fan. But we have it $77 a month for the first 4 months of the NBA season. But that gets you from when you sign up. So if you sign up tomorrow for the NBA season, it doesn't start until October 16th, you get tomorrow, which is October 1st. So it's 16 free days. And then all the way until the end of the NBA season, which is April 9th, 2023. It is really a fantastic deal. And I think, I'm just excited to get a lot of our folks in there for NBA. All right. Let's get after this. Doug L., how you doing, man? We're going to go right to the first game here. Let's see. 7:05, and it is the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. It is 62 degrees in New York. The rain should hold off. I don't think it gets that far north this evening, so we should be good there. A little wind blowing in from left at 8 miles an hour, so cool temperature, definitely not the hitting weather that we've recently had. Vegas has the total at 7.5, 3.25 implied for Baltimore, 4.25 for the New York Yankees. It's Jordan Lyles, 6.6K, against Domingo Germán, 7.6K. So not a ton of exposure for me in this game. I think with the weather and average pitchers here, I think it's just held down decently. I wouldn't mind a one-off on either side, though. I'm always in Rutschman's corner when he's batting lefty. That's really his better side. A lot of pop from that side of the plate. And he's a fair 4.6K. Obviously, any of the guys in the middle there, their lineup is in, and it's solid, man. Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, Mountcastle, Gunnar, and then Vavra, Hayes, Stowers, and Mateo. So really strong hitting squad there. However, I will warn you, the bottom part of that lineup, the last four guys specifically, if there's a lefty that comes in the game, you're going to have some pinch hitting. So there is a pinch hitting risk, especially with the bottom of the Baltimore order. But I wouldn't mind getting to a one-off of at least one of the guys up top with Baltimore. Yankees on the other side, a little bit different lineup tonight. No Josh Donaldson in there. It's Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Stanton, LeMahieu, Cabrera, Bader, Kiner, Falefa, and Trevino. So mostly the guys that have been in there. It'll be interesting to see if Judge, now that he has all that weight off his shoulders, if he gets to 62, I'll certainly be rooting for him. I'm not planning on rostering him tonight because of the 6.5 tag. Too many good pitchers to buy up to. So one off for the Yankees. That'll be all that I'll probably do there. I really do apologize for my voice. I hope everybody can hear this clear enough. I did not. I thought that I'd turn the corner here a little bit. All right. The second game is that 7:05 Philly and Washington, second game of a doubleheader. We're not going to play that. We're fading it. I think it rains out. So I'm going to move on. 7:07 Boston Red Sox at Toronto Blue Jays. Massively important game for me, family. It is in Toronto in the Dome. The total is 8, 3.38 implied for Boston, 4.62 implied for Toronto. Nick Pivetta, 7K against Alek Manoah, 9.1K. And this is where we're going to start talking about pitching a little bit, because I have a value pitcher that I like today, and it's Alek Manoah. He's considering there's so many 11 and 10K pitchers. That price at 9-1 on DraftKings is literally a value play today. 44 on Yahoo is a value play. He's 10-2 on Fanduel, which is a little pricey. I'm not going to go to him there on a single pitcher site, but I do like him today. And I know Boston's been hitting the ball. I get it, but he's pitching really well. This game matters to Toronto, and he's a gutsy pitcher, especially at home. He had a 55 on Fanduel his last start against Tampa. Prior to that, listen to how consistent he is. 34, 33, 46, 50, 46, 43. So he's been killing it. And he's pitched in the last, 11 games. The least amount of pitches in an outing is 95. And he's pitched all the way up to 113. So I feel very strong he goes deep here. They need the win. He's going to get that upper edge of strikeouts is like 7, 8, 9 maybe. He's not a double-digit strikeout pitcher, but he's not going to get you 2 or 3. He's going to strike some people out. And he's pitched against Boston well. He pitched against them on July 23rd and had 56 fantasy score, where he went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, and struck out 6. So, I think he's in a great spot here. He's going to go virtually unknown. Well, I shouldn't say virtually unknown. He's going to be single digits, lower single digits, because there's so many great pitchers on this slate. So we're going to talk about the pitching ownership right now, because this is a big call for me. This is a contrarian call. You're not going to get a lot of Manoah on the slate. And I think he can be very sneaky here as a play for sure. All right, let's take a look at pitching ownership right now. On DraftKings, we've got the top 2 pitchers have a pretty big lead on everybody else. Corbin Burnes at 39% projected, 22% top 2 pitchers. DeGrom is 37%, second, and 29. And then it drops. Logan Gilbert, 22. Jack Flaherty, 15. Kershaw, 14. Darvish, 13. Joe Ryan, 12. Reed Detmers, 11. Cobb, 10. Sandy Alcantara, 6. Merrill Kelly, 6. Max Fried, 5. I'm saying all these guys because they're good pitchers. Aaron Savali, 4. And then here's my guy, my value, Alek Manoah. He's projected at 3%, and he is a 9% top 2 possibility pitching wise. So a good almost 6% leverage value play there. So I'm not saying Manoah should be jammed in every single lineup, but when you're looking at all these great pitchers and you don't want to pay to the very top of the scale, both for DeGrom and Burnes, which you can do. I have those 2 projected with the most points fantasy score wise, but 11-7 for DeGrom and 10-5 for Burnes. Those are, that's a lot to bite off. And if you go just the level below them, you've got Yu Darvish at 10-1, Sandy Alcantara 10-9. So you got big price guys in here. I just like the big savings all the down to 9-1 to Manoah. I mean, that's $2,600 less than DeGrom. And yes, he's Jacob DeGrom. I get it. But I'm trying to do 2 things here. One, find a secondary pitcher that's a little bit of leverage, and also that is a little bit of saving so that I can get to some of the bats that I want to get to. All right, let's look at pitching on Fanduel. Burnes number 1 at 30, DeGrom 25. They are 1-2 everywhere. It falls off the face of the earth after that. Darvish 7, And then everybody else that I mentioned before, basically 5% to 1%. On Yahoo, a little bit different twist. It's always spread out more on Yahoo because of the pricing. Burns is still number 1 at 40%. DeGrom still number 2 at 33. But this is where it gets a little jumbled. You've got Clayton Kershaw at 23. And then the other double-digit guys are Gilbert, 15, Framber Valdez, 14, Alex Cobb, 13, and Jack Flaherty, 11. My value guy, Alek Manoah, is 8.5. So I love it. I love the pitching, and I like the value play there with Mr. Manoah. As far as the bats go, my BVP play is also in this game. It's from leadoff hitter George Springer. He's 5K, and he's got some great BVP. Again, we always look at even the small sample sizes matter. So he's 7 for 15 against Pivetta, 3 extra base hits. One of them's a homer, 1326 OPS, 800 slugging, 526 OBP, and a 467 average. I will take that all day long. If I can get to another Toronto at batter, I will, but not going to stack them. But I would like 2 Toronto guys if I can find a way, one to go along with Springer. On the other side, as far as Boston goes, obviously no hitters for me on that side. And another reason why I like Toronto is Boston sat some guys, and this lineup is not a normal lineup for them. So it really is an upgrade to me for Manoah. They're starting Duran, Devers, Bogarts, Verdugo, Martinez, Casas, Almonte, McGuire, and Arroyo. So that is not their regular punch. No, a couple of their regulars not in there. So another reason I want to go that direction. All right, real quick here. Let's see. If you want to donate a long time. All right, we've got. Can I pencil Sandy A since Mets never score for DeGrom? He's too expensive for me. I get it, and he's trying to get a Cy Young, and he goes deep. He leads the league in innings pitched, but I just don't think against a scrappy Mets hitting team. I know they don't hit for DeGrom, but they're still scrappy, and I just think he's overpriced. I'm not going to pay, almost DeGrom money for a guy in that situation. That's just my feeling. So let's see. Any other questions? Throw them in there as we're going, and I'll check back. No doubt Alcantara is going to go deep. I don't know if he's going to get it done. Lanny is in there. My man Lanny, how's it going, brother? Great to see you in here with us. Marcus F., how are you, sir? I have not seen Marcus F. in here very often, so great to have you join us. I think I already said hello to Earl. Yeah, anything else, let me know in there and we'll get to it. Gilbert, I'm pondering. I don't trust Gilbert, not with all these great pitchers. On a different slate, maybe, but he's like 11th or 12th ranked for me. There's just so many good pitchers to choose from on this slate. All right, I'm going to take periodic drinks just to try to get the throat through it. Next game is the Kansas City Royals at the Cleveland Guardians. 60 degrees in Cleveland tonight, wind blowing in from right at 11 miles an hour. Total of 7, 3.29 implied for the Royals, 3.71 for the Guardians. Brady Singer, who's had a nice season, 8.2K. Aaron Savali, 7.7K for the Guardians. This is a game, one of those tweener games that usually don't make much of my roster. I respect the 2 pitchers enough that I don't want to stack any kind of hitting against them. But I like the hitting enough on both sides that I don't want to narrow down onto these pitchers. So at most a one-off, but very little exposure for me here. I do like Jose Ramirez, like always. He's such a stud, man. But 6.1K is a pretty big not to crack there at and try to fit into the salary. But one off at best in this game, but not that much exposure. Next one, 7-10, also Minnesota Twins, Detroit Tigers. We have a 61-degree cool temperature in Detroit, no wind, and only a 7 total. 3.88 implied for Minnesota, 3.12 for Detroit. Jumping Joe Ryan, 8.6K, and the lefty Tyler Anderson for Detroit on the other side of the ball. Cool temperatures, so it should help the pitching. Vegas has it as a low total, but I am not a big Tyler Alexander fan at all. And Joe Ryan on a slate like this with all this pitching at 8.6K, not going to do it for me. So very little interest here for me. And I could very well have a complete pass on this game. If you need somebody in the middle of an order, real cheap, final man in, maybe a Harold Castro at 2.3K, or on the other side, a catcher, a Gary Sanchez at 3K, somebody like that. But I doubt I'll have any exposure to this game. 7:20, New York Mets, Atlanta Braves. How about 6 for an implied total? 6. That's right. That is the total for this game. 3.16 implied for the Mets, 2.84 for the Braves. 71 degrees, wind blowing out to center at 10 miles an hour. So beautiful weather for a baseball game. But you've got two really solid pitchers. Jacob deGrom, 11.7K, which is a lot of money. And he's priced out of sight on Fanduel and even ridiculous pricing on Yahoo. So that's the dilemma. Max Fried on the other side, the lefty, 8.8K. Pretty fair price for another, again, one of the multiple aces on this slate. You guys know I love Jacob deGrom. Who doesn't in DFS? I am going to reluctantly not play Jacob deGrom in the majority of my lineups tonight. I may have him in one secondary lineup. I just don't want to pay up for the pricing. It's just too much higher than everybody else. And I have him projected second overall in DFS points, but only a few points ahead of the 3 or 4 other guys right behind him that are $2,000 cheaper, $1,000 cheaper, $2,600 cheaper. So can deGrom break the slate? It's possible. I will say this, though. 3 outings in a row now, he's given up runs. The last one, he got smacked by the Oakland A's, finished with 3 fantasy score in that game. All it's probably going to do is piss him off. I get it. And he's Jacob deGrom. Atlanta Braves have struck out more than any team in Major League Baseball this season against right-handed pitchers. So that is another reason that you want to take some deGrom. But the Braves can hit. You know, that's the concern. This lineup is a badass lineup. Acuna, this is confirmed. Acuna, Swanson, Harris, Riley, Olson, d'Arnaud, Contreras, Rosario, and Arcia. That is a good lineup. So the combination of the fact that the weather's so nice, the wind's blowing out, Atlanta still has something to play for, as does the Mets, and he's gotten hit a few games in a row. I'm going to reluctantly fade deGrom. And I never thought I would use those words together, but you know what? I don't come on this podcast and tell you the top guys from every team and it's, salary doesn't matter. You don't need that advice. You don't want to waste time listening to somebody like that. So that's the tough decision. Do I think that you should have him in a secondary lineup if you play more than one lineup? I do. Absolutely. But he's not going to be one of my key guys. And it could go south, and Vegas knows it's going to be a low-scoring game. But Atlanta's got some sticks, and it doesn't take a lot to get deGrom's numbers down just enough that the value's not there. And, he's still number 2 highest owned on all 3 sites projected. So it's, it's going to solve a lot of issues there for us in going that route. So, hopefully it doesn't completely bite us. But, if he throws, 40, 42 fantasy score on the board, it's not going to kill anybody, especially at that salary with all the other good pitchers that can absolutely bust 40 as well. So that's my thinking. Hopefully, let me check back in chat and see if anybody got mad and left here. Let's see. No, nobody seems too upset about it right now. Good, good, good. Keep up the chat. Any questions, let me know. All right. Next game is 8:10. Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers. Guess what? I'm seeing double because we have 6 as a total in this game as well. And this is the big matchup everybody's talking about. 2.53 implied for the Marlins, 3.47 implied for the Brewers. Sandy Alcantara versus Corbin Burns. Sandy's 10.9K. Burns is cheaper at 10.5K. Corbin Burns is my buy-up pitcher. So in honor of Crash, where are you, Crash, man? Crash is jumping up and down, screaming now. He's so happy. Corbin Burns is my pay-up guy. Milwaukee needs this game extremely bad. Burns has been pitching great. The Marlins stink, and I don't believe in jinxes. So Marlins, you stink. I don't think they hit. I don't see Burns giving up anything in this game, and I think he goes plenty deep enough. He had a little slump in the middle of the season, but he's got it back. He was great against Cincinnati, where he struck out 8. He had a 73 game with 14 strikeouts against San Francisco. He's pitching well. A nice 31 score, 7 innings against St. Louis. So, he's got it back from that early midseason slump. It's a game they have to have. It's at home. It's against the Marlins, who are batting .237 this season against righties. They've struck out the 6th most times against right-handed pitching of any team in Major League Baseball. And it saves me the money from DeGrom. So, and I think I got him 2 points higher than DeGrom in my projections. So I think Burns is the play. I really do. As far as Alcantara on the other side, I just think the price is too high. The Brewers' bats are a little bit better for sure. They've hit right-handers a lot better than they have left-handers. And they have to win. So you're not going to get any, sloppy play here. They're going to play their best guys, pinch hit their best guys, do whatever it takes to win this game. So feel really confident about it. Love it. And that's my whole theory there. And those are the 2 games that are going to be massive. All right, on to the next one. 8:10, Tampa Bay Rays, Houston Astros. 6.5 total here. 2.81 implied for the Rays. 3.69 for the Astros. Drew Rasmussen, 7.9K against Framber Valdez, 10.7K. Again, in normal situations, guys like Framber are great plays. But with all of this incredible pitching, Tampa Bay's still in the hunt. They're in a position right now for the last wild card spot. So they're going to play the lights out. Whereas Houston, it does not matter. They already have everything locked down. So I don't know if they, how deep they go with Valdez. He generally goes fairly deep, but he's 10-7, and Tampa can hit. Their lineup is confirmed. Diaz, Rosarena, Franco, Ramirez, Margot, Mejia, Paredes, Siri, and Wall. So they've got good hitting up and down that lineup. So not any interest, not stacking against either one of these pitchers. I respect Rasmussen at 7-9. So not stacking either side here, but I will say I would like to get to 1 or 2 of the Astros bats. If there's any way to afford Yordan Alvarez at 5-9, I do like him in that spot. I like him more than even Jose Ramirez, who's my favorite player in baseball, as you guys know, although he took that mantle from Yordan Alvarez from the first half. So I guess they're both my favorite players, but there's some other strong plays there. Kyle Tucker, batting cleanup at 5-1. Mancini's up to the 5 hole at 3-5, which is very cheap. So a couple of Houston bats, I think, make a lot of sense. Possibly a Franco on the Tampa side. Rosarena had a monster game for me the other day. And Harold Ramirez is a professional hitter, man. He bats cleanup every night for Tampa. He's only 3-6, and he's solid. He's both first base and outfield eligible. All right, quick check in here. Not too much. All right, we got a nice group in here, though. Great to see so many folks in on a wonderful Friday. All right, 8:15. Pirates and Cardinals, 64 degrees in St. Louis. No wind to speak of. 7's the total. 2.84 implied for Pittsburgh. 4.16 for the Cardinals. Johan Oviedo for the Buccos, young pitcher. It's supposed to be a nice pitcher coming up in their farm system against Jack Flaherty, who's actually struggled, but is starting to get it together here in time for the playoffs. He's 7.4K. Tough one to go to here. Cardinals are playing all their bats. I mean, they've got their lineup is set. Donovan, Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Pujols, Yepes, Carlson, Molina, and Edmonds. So they're playing their guys. Certainly do respect Oviedo, though. He's not a bad young pitcher, but their bullpen is atrocious. So getting to a St. Louis guy or two is advisable. Goldschmidt's at 5.9 now. Arenado's at 5.4. So that's better. They were both at 6 or over for some time. So you can get to a Cardinal bat or two in the mix and make some sense of it today. I'm not a Nootbaar fan. If you guys listen every day, I think he stinks. So not a Nootbaar guy. Not sure, does Pujols have anything left? I don't even know why he's playing. He should just have quit at 700. It's over. You're the man. You're the GOAT. So I don't know. Not a lot of play there for me, but a Cardinal bat wouldn't be bad. Jack Flaherty, like I said, he hasn't been great. So if you need a cheap bat and you want, a Sawinski or a Hayes or Castro or Reynolds, maybe a one-off there for the Pirates, but I would not go any deeper than that with all these good options on the board. All right, we have 5 games left. And guess what? 5 after-hours games. So if I'm still awake after taking a bunch of cold medicine and not being too drowsy, I'll try to get an after-hours lineup in there. We almost never have a 5-game late after-hours slate, but we do tonight. So what a fantastic night for baseball, I'm telling you right now. All right. It starts off with the Rangers and Angels, 9:38, 72 degrees in LA, perfect. 8 is the over-under, 3.54 for the Rangers, 4.46 for the Angels. Glenn Otto, 6.4K against Reed Detmers, the lefty, 7.7K. What do you say about this game? Otto's not good. I think the Angels are a dangerous stack. So let's look at the stack ownership. Perfect timing to take a gander at that. We're going to look at DraftKings first. Now, they still have Philly listed as the number 1 stack. Again, I think that game rains out. Dodgers number 2 at 9.5. So basically, there's not going to be any double-digit stacks today. So you don't have to sweat it. We don't even really have to go over a ton of these because they're all somewhat contrarian. But I will say this, to give you an idea, and all DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo are very similar. You're going to get the upper single digits with the Dodgers, the Angels, Minnesota, Texas, Seattle, Toronto, San Diego, and that's the main groups right there. So, yeah, Angels are definitely getting some love here, and deservedly so, against a lousy pitcher in Otto. But, Trout and Ohtani are both over 6K. So that's a big commitment if you go to one of those guys. Rengifo's unbelievable, man. He's been so good for me, but I do like him from the left side much better than the right side. So he's hitting from the left side today at 4.5K in the leadoff hole and is definitely an option. He's second and third base eligible, which makes him even more palatable. Taylor Ward's having a fine year in cleanup at 4.2, another strong play. Any of the guys in the bottom, the only problem with some of those guys down there is some pinch hit risk, but certainly can grab a homer from any of those guys. On the Texas side, Detmers is pretty good. He's a good young pitcher, and at 7-7 on a different slate, he'd be a decent play. But again, there's a 9 million great pitchers, so he does not make the cut for me. As far as Rangers hitters, I'm not going to stack them by any stretch, but maybe a Simeon, who's really heating up now towards the end of the year, finally. At 4.5, that's too cheap for him. I think he's a really fine play. Seager, lefty here, hurts him a little bit, but his price is down at 4.5. Same thing with Nate Lowe at 3.5, but lefty on lefty. Then you've got two guys that both intrigue me here. Garcia at 4.2 and Josh Young, the youngster, at 2.6. I think those are two good power bats that give you some good home run potential against Detmers. All right, the second late game here. Oakland and Seattle, total of 7, 2.69 implied for Oakland, 4.31 for Seattle. Ken Waldichuk, who's not very good. The lefty's 5.8K, just not ready. I don't think he was ready for the majors. Logan Gilbert, 8.4K for Seattle. Tough game here. You've got some potential here that these guys could both get hit. A lot of people are talking about Gilbert because it's a home game and Oakland's not good. I get that. I just can't get there. 8.4K. I don't trust Gilbert. Not going to go there. Not going to stack against him. I mean, how could you stack anybody from Oakland? Nobody can. And Waldichuk's not good either. So I would like to grab a Seattle bat somewhere in the mix here. You're going to have a ton of right-handers, like 7 righties to go against them. Dylan Moore, Ty France, Suarez, Haniger. I love you, Mitch Haniger. You are my hero. You are my sunshine. Double dong last night for Haniger. Really was the icing and the ball that got over the fence for us for the second time that got us on all the takedowns. So he was the MVP of that squad last night. He and Shohei Ohtani almost pitched a no-hitter for us, for goodness sakes. So those were my stars last night. It's hard not to want to go back to Haniger here. He's hot right now. He's going to bat cleanup again. He's only 4.5. So I may have him in there. I'm not usually a guy that follows directly up. I always feel like, you go to the well once too many and there's always some regression. But I am tempted here just because I don't think Waldichuk is any good and Haniger's hot right now and his price is right. So definitely would mind to go there. I think Carlos Santana is scary too. I like, and I mentioned this on the last time Santana faced a lefty. He's got a lot more pop from the right side. Heavy power, upper deck kind of sting. So he at 2.6 is also a nice play if you're looking for another cheap hitter. 9:40, drink time. The voice is fading fast. Thank God we only have 3 games left. All right, let's see. All right, we go back. Here we go. Yes, to answer David, Josh will have lineups, GPP lineups to go along with my single entries today. So that is very good. Coach Mom, yes, I'm hanging in there. I am hanging in there. Thank you for your concern. Leduc A, thank you also for your concern. Voice is heavy today, man. It's chest and throat right in here. It's not COVID. I just took a COVID test, some kind of upper respiratory thing, but I can't seem to shake it the last 3 days. So Prayers always welcome. That's for sure. But I'm good to go. All right, we're going to get back to it here. Like I said, 3 games left, and I happen to really like a couple of teams here. I do want to say, though, so I don't forget, that Seattle game against Waldichuk, I do like a stack there. I mentioned Haniger, if we go back to him, and Santana, I already mentioned. And then Suarez, France, or more if they're up top, the righties. I think a Seattle stack is very sneaky, not a 5-manner. I really don't see a 5-man needed tonight. And I know a lot of people live and die by that and go for it if you're a 150 max player or something. But we're hand building 2-3 lineups, specifically going with one. And I don't want to go deeper than like 3 guys in any stack. But Seattle is one of those teams that I would not feel funny about grabbing 3 guys at mid-4 and low-4 pricing that are really good. All right, White Sox, Padres, 940. 7.5's the total. Davis Martin, also known as Martin Davis. I don't know why I always say that, but it is Davis Martin. 6.2K against Yu Darvish, who is dangerous tonight too. He's another pitcher that would be a great play here. Yu Darvish, though, is 10-1. He's expensive, and sometimes you can't trust him. White Sox are not good, though, and they have sort of given up, but their lineup, they're playing their main guys. So couldn't quite get to Darvish, but I'm afraid he could put up a really nice game. The implied totals are 3 for Chicago, 4.5 for San Diego. And as far as the bats go in this game, I like the Padres. I like the Padres stack tonight as my other, probably my favorite stack on the slate. Again, I'm not going deeper than 3, and you really have to watch the cost with them. But I'm comfortable with Profar, Soto, Machado, Cronenworth, Drury. That's the main 5, maybe even a Bell or Kim. Just depends when that official lineup comes out. But I don't think Davis Martin is good. White Sox bullpen is imploded. They've given up. And I just think, it's a comfortable weather game in San Diego, about 70 degrees, no wind. And San Diego's bats are good and no pressure. They're out of it. I just think, you could see a couple, 2-3 home runs from the Padres side. And I'd like to have a couple of those guys. So they're not going to be a high-owned stack by any stretch, and you can get there. Certainly, I'm looking initially like a Soto, Cronenworth, Drury kind of thing, but it could shift depending on when that lineup drops. All right, the later 2 games. 10-10 Colorado and the Dodgers. Total is 8. 71 is the temperature at first pitch. Beautiful night, 8 degrees or 8 miles per hour. Blowing out. If it was 8 degrees, we may want to fade, but no, it's 71. Total is 8. 2.45 is all for the Rockies. How pathetic is that? 5, 5, 5, triple fives for the Dodgers. So massive implied total, the biggest on the board. Dodgers are getting a lot of love on stacks. Kershaw's getting a lot of love on the ownership side, but not chalky, not as much certainly as by far the top 2 in Woodruff and DeGrom. But Kershaw's 9-6. My question is, how deep does he go? Dodgers have nothing to play for. They want to get him ready, but they do want him sharp. So maybe he goes 6 here, and he could get it done in that time frame. But 9-6 isn't exactly a giveaway pricing. So you got to be a little concerned there at that price and how deep he's going to go. But Colorado stinks, hitting outside of cores. They're worse. They are a little bit better against lefties. So, that may help a bit. But, I wouldn't blame you for playing Kershaw. Wouldn't blame you for stacking Dodgers. I just can't stack Dodgers from a salary standpoint. If I can grab a one-off like a Freeman, I would love to, or a Turner. That's Trey Turner, by the way. Justin's dinged up a little bit. I'm not sure he's going to be in the lineup. Will Smith was one of the home run brigade for us last night on that championship team. But again, they're all, almost 6K for goodness sakes in that top 4. So A one-off's the best I can do from a salary standpoint. But if you can, if you want to buy down other spots and stack the Dodgers, it might be a good way to go. It's not going to be my first choice. Last game, Arizona Diamondbacks, San Fran Giants. 62 degrees in San Francisco, so always cool in San Fran. Wind blowing out, but it's swirly wind. It doesn't really count. San Fran, it's a hitter's park, period. Total 7, 3.32 implied for Arizona, 3.68 for San Fran. You've got Merrill Kelly, 8K against Alex Cobb, 7.7K. People say, oh, Cobb, that's super cheap in the pitching place there in San Fran. I get it. Both of these guys are okay. But, they're like 16th and 17th ranked for me today. It's unbelievable that the pitching. And I like to play San Fran pitchers, but both sides in that park. But I'm not going to get to either one of these guys. I'm not stacking this game either. I never expect a ton of runs in this stadium, especially with the cool temperatures and everything else going out. But, to grab one bat on each side wouldn't be bad. Certainly deserved spots here. I do like the fact that Pavin Smith's batting in the 2-hole, and he's only 2.2K. He's cheap because he missed a lot of the season with injury. McCarthy's been hot at times. Varsho's leading off at 4.2. So a lot of nice plays for the Diamondbacks there. Almost wouldn't mind grabbing 2 of them, but I'll probably end up with 1. On the Giants side, one off with Peterson, Flores, or Yastrzemski would be my number 1 choices. Maybe a Brandon Crawford being the 4th choice there. But again, I'm not going to race to any of those bats. All right, to sum it up here, let me look back. I haven't looked in Discord in a long time. All right, I don't see any major. I bet Coach played shooting guard. I actually played small forward, boy from Cali. Even though I'm not that tall, I was always guarding people much taller than me at the small forward spot. But I had a little bit of a post-up game to go with the jumper. I was a 3-point shooter, though. So you were right there back in the long days ago. Let's see. Kershaw won't pitch for a week because of the bye. Yeah, I don't know. Does he go more than 6 innings here, Doug? I don't know, man. Not enough for me. Again, on a different slate, I'd say, yeah, it's worth that. Go with it. But too many other guys and too many other good positions. It just, as far as, what it means to their team, and it means 0 to the Dodgers, really. They're all set. All right. Wrapping things up as far as what I'm going toward today. I'm buying up for Corbin Burns. So crash wherever you are, man. High 5. My value pitcher is Manoah. By the way, Burns is 10-5, 10-3, and 49 on Yahoo. Manoah's 9-1, 10-2, and 44 on Yahoo. My fade pitcher is Alcantara. And, Josh heard it. He's fired up. Alcantara's 10-9, 10-9, and 49. Just too expensive for me. And I know maybe he pitches 8 or 9 innings. Who knows? But he's got to go against a tough team. And I don't see, it doesn't make sense to me. And sort of, I guess I have to say these words again, and hopefully there's no lightning, but I guess I'm fading DeGrom. I'll have him in one backup lineup, so it's not a full fade. But just at those prices, man, he's like $60 or something ridiculous on Yahoo, 11.7 on DraftKings. My projections aren't high enough to take on that much extra salary. So I hope that everybody's cool with that. Springer is my BVP play against Pivetta. And I don't see Deb in here. No Deb. Oh, man. My home run pick tonight is Mark Canha, Deb's favorite all-time Major League Baseball player. He's going to bat in the 2-hole. I think he's going deep tonight against a garbage pitcher. and I think he's going to be a sneaky play. Now, it's not a garbage pitcher. I'm joking. I call him Max Fried Chicken. It is Max Fried. Max Fried is really good, but I like Mark Canha. Against lefties, the guy's a stud. Why not a home run tonight? Hey, Doug L agrees with me, so I'm not the only one fading DeGrom tonight. Okay, stacks, number 1, San Diego, and number 2, Seattle, and those will be sneaky. I do like both Los Angeles teams a little bit if you can afford them. A couple Angels, a couple Dodgers, I think sprinkling those guys in there are a good idea. All right. You know what? As far as PrizePicks and Boom Fantasy, I'm going to put those in Discord. I've got like no voice left. I can feel it just completely shutting down. So I will post those two things in Discord. If there's anybody that's not a member that's dying for a PrizePicks or Boom Fantasy pick right now, type it in chat because I do not like to leave anybody hanging. So if somebody has to have one, I'll pull one up. If not, I'll put them in Discord for our members. What I do want to do right now is give away 2 sets of Millie Maker tickets to the Sunday DK contest. So 2 people are going to win 2 tickets each. As soon as I call your name, all I need you to do is jump on Twitter, check us out at DFS Coach Talk, and all you have to do is DM us your PayPal email. So if it's jimsmith@gmail.com, that's what all you have to let us know. Boom, shoot the money over to you. You get these free rolls on the Millie Maker on Sunday for the NFL. All right. If you haven't said hello, type something in there. Travis Duarte getting in under the wire. All right, guys, here we go. And gals, we have some awesome women in here with us today, too. Okay, I'm going to hit the randomizer, people. The first set of tickets go to Doug L. Doug L, you have won the first set of tickets. Send us a tweet, DM at DFS Coach Talk, Mr. Doug L, and you're going to get some free rolls, my friend. The second set of tickets go to Lee Thompson. I don't know, did Lee just win the other day? I'm not sure, but that's awesome, Lee. If it's your first winner, even better. Lee Thompson is the second winner of a set of tickets. Congratulations to both winners, Doug L. and Mr. Thompson. All right, my friends, that is it. I appreciate all of you. Love the fact we had a nice group in here. God willing, I'll be back with some voice left tomorrow because tomorrow is doubleheader podcast day. I've got baseball podcast in the morning because we have a big afternoon slate. So join me at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'll go over the baseball slate with you and give away a couple more tickets. And then 8 o'clock at night, I will have 2 people with me for football. Thank goodness. We will have our man Steven back. He had a business emergency yesterday, so we missed him on the Thursday night call, but I held it. How about me? I pulled out our top receiver. Mr. Higgins pulled out our captain spot, number 1 for us in football. I was proud of that one. But it will be Steven and Deb at Deluxe making an NFL performance debut here. So those 2 will break down the entire NFL slate for Sunday with me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be giving tickets away there as well. So we love the fact you guys were with us on this Friday afternoon. I think this time slot is going to be a permanent one for MLB and then taken over by the NBA at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching right now on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, please. Hit the subscribe button. Click the little alert in the upper corner. This way, anytime any of our podcasts post, boom, you got it. You're right there. All right, my friends, thank you so much for listening in. Let's keep this hot streak going. How about another couple dozen takedowns tonight for the team? Have a great one. Appreciate all of you. And we'll see you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, Prize Picks, and Boom Fantasy.